Hello, and thank you for watching this regional forecast update for the southern U.S. I'm Andrew Pritchard, Senior Meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. We'll start with the satellite picture here on Friday morning. We do have a disturbance making its way through the mid-south and parts of the southeast. That's kicked off an area of rain and thunderstorms, moving across portions of Kentucky and Tennessee down into Alabama. That'll move across Georgia and the Carolinas, portions of Florida as we head through the rest of the day today and into the overnight. On the backside, high pressure moving in. We've got a lot in the way of sunshine as you make your way into portions of Oklahoma and Texas. That high pressure is going to continue to slide in and take over the whole southern U.S., much of the middle of the lower 48 here. Going to be looking at a really sunshine-filled, dry next 7 days as we enter another quiet stretch across the region. So here's the radar. As we get started on Friday morning, that area of rain and thunderstorms from Kentucky and Tennessee down toward the Gulf Coast. That is going to continue to move off to the east as we head through the remainder of the day. High pressure coming in on the backside with quiet conditions. A look at the temperatures here. We do have some warmer air being advected northward in advance of the disturbance across the southeast. So a little bit cooler on the backside, 20s and 30s across Oklahoma and Texas, 40s and 50s across the southeast down into Florida. The hazards map on the left from the National Weather Service, and then we've got the Friday morning surface analysis. And again, the hazards map pretty quiet across the south. We've got a winter weather advisory in portions of West Texas where we could see several inches of snow over the next 24 to 48 hours. And then we have our disturbance across the southeast that's going to be taking up the next 24 to 36 hours before it too exits the region. Otherwise, really a quiet picture. High pressure going to be sliding in on the backside here, leading us into a quiet next week. So here's the high-resolution NAM model. This will help us get the timing down on the departure of the precipitation in the southeast, along with that snow in West Texas. So here we go on Friday morning. Rain and thunderstorms continuing to exit Alabama probably by mid-afternoon. This will be making their way through Georgia into the Carolinas as we get into the evening. Perhaps a little line of storms producing some gusty winds moving across the Carolinas into southeastern Georgia, maybe North Florida as we head into the late evening and the early overnight. All of that exits as we get into Saturday morning, though. This is what it should look like at 6 a.m. on Saturday morning. Rain departing the southeast, snow not yet ongoing across West Texas. That gets going as we get later into the day, Saturday into Saturday evening. Again, just talking about the potential for an inch to maybe 3 inches across this region as we go through the day on Saturday. Here's your next 7 days of precipitation. Again, this is what departs over the next 24 hours. Otherwise, we continue to be dry here for the next 7 days. And then a lot of what you see here is either part of the light snow, the light rain activity here during the day on Saturday, or a lot of this is being picked up on the early side of when we may transition back to an active pattern, which is around December 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. We'll talk about that here a little bit later in this forecast picture. But by and large, if you get through the noise here, again, this is happening now. This is a little bit of snow here on Saturday, and then a lot of this is not until 6 to 7 days from now. We've got a dry next 7 days setting up for a big chunk of the U.S. This is how we do it. We're looking at the jet stream pattern here at 500 millibars on Friday morning. And again, a really messy picture across the eastern half of the country. This is what's aiding in the development of some snow across the northeast. This is the disturbance that's kicking off the rain and thunderstorms from Kentucky and Tennessee down to the Gulf Coast. And then we've got this little kind of trailing piece, which is going to get cut off across the southwest as we head into the weekend. So let me take the drawings off and show you where we are headed then. As we get to the other side of the weekend, this disturbance swings on out of here, and now we got high pressure in between here. We've got the little cutoff low across the southwest. That's going to help with that little bit of snow across West Texas, and then troughing begins to kick on off toward the Atlantic as we get into early next week. A couple little systems here try to come in out of the north on the tail end of this trough. You can see them digging out of the Midwest here as we get into kind of Sunday, Monday, Tuesday of next week. That might concern you about bringing some cold air in from the north, but as I show you here, a lot of ridging across the Canadian prairie into the northern plains of the U.S. So we'll look at an actual temperature anomaly map, but I'm here to tell you there's not a lot in the way of cold air to be drawn south off to our north. So really going to be looking at a mild start to December in a lot of areas. Even if we do hold a little bit cooler than average in some places, there's not really any frigid air to bring down into the region. So here's what we've got from the European model, the operational forecast. This will show us the rain exiting as we go through the next 24 hours across the southeast. And then our Saturday snow across West Texas, that really begins to fade as we head into Saturday night and Sunday morning. A little bit of light rain activity possible with this system as it continues to make its way through Sunday into Sunday night, but really this thing taps into some upper level energy as it gets off the Atlantic coast. So maybe some showers here across the southeast as we go through Sunday night into early Monday morning, but probably looking at very little in the way of actual accumulation from that rainfall. We'll then head into next week, dry, a little bit cooler at times, in some locations, but nothing showing up here as far as organized, focused precipitation until we get to around that December 11th, 12th, 13th time frame. Huge disagreements in how this quiet pattern is going to break, but we're getting some more consistency in the timing of that pattern break, and it does look like it'll be around next weekend. And what that means is we have a quiet next week to look at until that point. So here's what we've got: total precipitation over the next 7 days. Again, a lot of this falling now. Maybe a few tenths of an inch here as that system makes its way through Sunday night into Monday morning. That, of course, is what we're seeing back here for the most part. So a little snow in West Texas, and then a couple opportunities for some rain here today, and then Sunday night as you make your way from west to east across the region. Otherwise, as we get into the next work week, we're going to be shutting things back down as far as organized precipitation goes across the south. I told you I'd show you a temperature anomaly map. This is what we've got right now. So with this pattern, the ridge across the prairie, even if we're sending systems, kind of little clipper systems out of Ontario down into the Midwest, again, what cold air are we tapping into and dragging down into the Midwest, into the south? There just isn't any to be found at this point. So temperatures, again, with some troughing here over the next few days, we'll see periods of cooler temps across the southeast, but really not bringing any frigid Arctic air down into the lower 48. So really we get a pretty uniform contrast from the northern plains down into the southern U.S. Your high temperatures today in the 40s and 50s across the Dakotas, and the 40s and 50s across Texas into Louisiana and Mississippi, Alabama. Here's your highs on Saturday. Again, 50s and 60s for a huge, or I should say 40s and 50s for a huge area here, which is, of course, warmer than average across the Dakotas, a little bit cooler than average across the south. But again, we're just not bringing any frigid air down into the lower 48. Here are your highs Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday. We'll be back to talk to you again on Monday morning. Hope you have a wonderful weekend.